Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 18, in fact. I am Fractured Filter, your host as always, and with me, my cohort, how do I say it? Whatever. J Hitman 187. How you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, so pumped. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Hopefully
doing
good.
Myself too. Oh yeah.
Nice.
So yet again, here we are. Another fun Saturday. Gotten plenty of news to certainly go over for the mouse for the Star Wars, especially as we're gearing up more closer to
Kenobi
and Celebration and all that fun stuff. So it's gonna be some interesting times.
Oh man, it just each week gets better and better and better. I'm just not saying that because we're co-hosts of this show, but no, seriously, there's a lot to go over. I'm in the mood. I'm in just a feisty mood. Yeah. Well, like I said, we were talking before the show. And I just feel like I was mentioning to you, just a bunch of idiot sandwiches on my Twitter feed.
That's certainly what you're gonna get when you jump onto the twit twats.
Yeah, I know, but it just gets me in the mood.
All
right.
Just
ready to just eviscerate some Disney. What do they call it? Disney lore. What do these idiots call it?
Something like that. Well, I was also
Disney canon.
Ooh, yeah. The mouse is canon. There was one thing I just wanted to and I'm gonna I'll save it for later. All right,
let's save it. Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna save something for later. Yeah. So should we just jump right into old Kenobi here?
Is this? Yeah, I think so. Because I've seen a lot of this today. Well, I've seen a lot of it all week, honestly, but today it's out in full force.
Without a doubt. Since this second trailer, there does seem to be a little more buzz floating around for sure. But it's still not quite picking up like you'd think it would be. At least, not that what I'm noticing, but then I have my circle very very secluded from the hype of the mouse and stuff, so
I think we're both pretty much like that, but they still seem to infiltrate it somehow.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's quite hitting the trends and stuff like that. It's not always popping up.
I wonder why.
Hey,
surely it has nothing to do with the fact that it doesn't follow canon at all.
Oh,
to a point.
Not even just the aspect of butt ramming the canon, but just the overall quality of the show. I mean, we still look at these Inquisitors, and we're certainly gonna get into that here. But it's like you see them, and it's like, whoo, doggy. There are cosplayers that turn out better outfits than what they've put together in this show.
Yeah,
all right,
100%.
Let's start this up. So I'm guessing here is where we're getting our new gambling planet. I forgot do you remember what they called it?
Oh, I thought it was. Yeah, I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah, I forgot, but we are getting a little more scenery on that. I looked when I first watched this trailer. I saw this. I was like, they don't come off as intimidating at all.
What is this?
Eggman and the Sun Hat and
we got Eggman, tobacco farming hat, and then this whatever she is.
Because I mean,
who does she even play?
It's her own character. She's named too, because all the others are supposed to be like seventh sister, sixth brother, and stuff like that. But she has the name of Reva, so that's where you know she's gonna have a little extra importance. But the funny thing is like you look at the main Grand Inquisitor and the Sun Hat. This guy is supposed to be huge. Like, did it? I mean, I know that I know you don't have to look exactly like from Rebels, but you should at least get a little bit closer to the body types and stuff like that. Like, even the Grand Inquisitor should be a lot leaner, little skinnier looking.
But even look at the
have
ship.
like the whole like black yellow eyes.
Yeah,
the ship looks weird. The ship does look weird. It just kind of looks like a triangle, upside down triangle.
It just
at least from this shot.
So, real quick, did you watch this? Because I've not watched it yet. So this is, I mean, I've watched the first.
Oh, this is your first. This is your first time seeing it.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to save it for the show and just give like actual reaction. It's just terrible.
I should have done the same.
He's gonna go farm for tobacco. He just looks constipated, and then she just doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She's like, "Where am I at? What am I supposed to be doing?"
It looks like she's kind of smirking in the picture too. I just realized that.
This ship is no better than the TIE fighters that we see on the Mandalorian.
Right.
No better. Like this is the they have all the money in the world. They have all the money in the world, and then this is what they produce.
It is. It's astounding, isn't it? I mean,
and then these guys want to talk crap on like the original trilogies, and then
no, that's the thing. You can try and talk as much shit as you want, but the fact of the matter is like the OT and stuff used, practical effects. They had talented costume designers and everything. Everything looked, I mean, like I've kept going on about, especially like with armors and stuff like that. People looked like the armor looked like it was lived in. It had that kind of real look to it. Like, yeah, they've been wearing this gear for a long time. Everything in these shows and stuff, it all looks like it's stuff that's brand new right off the racks. Usually. So,
yeah,
there was attention to detail. And just
Listen,
like
here's the thing.
again and again, overall passion.
I don't expect Disney to spend $30 million on an episode like as they do for Stranger Things. But come on, man, like get some better quality. Is this just terrible? And again, I get it. Like, it's just your opinion. Your opinion sucks. Blah blah blah. But okay, like fine. It's my opinion, but can you argue against it? It's like, look at it. Look at this guy. This guy's supposed to be Utapaulian. Is that right? Is that what they said? He's supposed to be the same race?
Yeah, he's of that same race.
Of that same race. It's terrible. Like, absolutely terrible. The worst. Like, I'm done. I digress. We can continue. What's the worst? Like, what is like the worst character though? Real quick, like, what is like out of the Three Stooges? What is the worst? I'm going with the tobacco farming guy.
In terms of like just
costume, just costume.
Yeah, I would. I mean, like I said, especially for who he's supposed to be playing.
Too bad it's not raining, because if it was, he would not get wet at all.
Hey, he's got his own umbrella, right?
He had that hat is big enough to cover all three of them.
No, but again, like it is like who he's supposed to be playing. He should be at least. I mean, he looks like they're all about like 5 foot tall, like 5, maybe 6 or 7. When this guy, like Mr. Tobacco Farmer, as you call him, he should be at least like almost like at the 6 foot 6'6" range, almost like definitely a lot taller than the way he's presented.
I'm more intimidated. I'll say this, and we can continue. I'm more intimidated of Inquisitor Malorum in Last of the Jedi, reading that book, not having any type of picture to go off of than these Three Stooges here, and that says a lot.
Yeah,
because it's a book.
You're getting like Obi-Wan's perspective of him and what he's sensing and stuff like that. So yeah, you're getting a lot more detail out of it than you are with just what you're presented on screen.
Do you disagree? Like when you read the book?
No, I don't disagree at all.
Like, Boop. I digress. I'm going back to my cage.
Anyway.
Continue.
Stay hidden.
Oh God! Stop it! I can't. Stop it! Is this? What did I just see? What the hell was that?
What, the thing on his back?
Yes,
dude. That's you. Oh, that's right. You never watched Rebels, did you?
No,
That's
like
their spinny lightsaber.
It looks like a hubcap.
It basically is.
Oh my!
That's the lightsaber that you. And if you've seen the GIF of it of the helicopter lightsabers.
I'm okay. Continue. God.
If we ever go through Rebels, you're gonna be in for such a treat.
Or we will not survive.
Whipping Nene over here.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh God. I want to say it was it. I heard somebody talking about this. Now I'm forgetting who.
OG was it?
But they're
OG?
like, it might have been OG. But they're like, you know, isn't it kind of bizarre that his hair is that dark brown looking when he should be just, you know, freaking like almost like strawberry bright blonde?
Well, yeah.
Considering how Luke it, because like it is, your hair will get darker as you get older.
Wait.
At this young age, I remember my hair as a young kid, and it was bright blonde.
You forget
and that's how Luke.
Yeah.
And that's how Luke should be, because that's how he was in A New Hope and everything. And then, yes, as he got older and then through the extra movies, his hair got progressively darker. But that's how it should be.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
But
let's not forget that Mark Hamill himself he approved of this actor, this kid.
Oh, that's something. Yeah.
You remember this?
No. I remember hearing about that. I don't know if we ever talked about it on the
No, we didn't. And I saw that. I was like, I was trying to verify, like, did Mark Hamill actually say this, or is this some type of...
It's that, and then also, I think he tweeted it out too. But there's also, there's been I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been a lot of screenshots floating around now because of like the behind the scenes for Book of Boba Fett and those 2 episodes with Luke.
Yeah.
And then there's Mark Hamill basically like sitting in on the scene or in the scenes, acting it out. And I'm just like, okay. And all right, screw it. I just thought, okay, we could do it on the side subject. But the whole thing is like, you know, when Last Jedi first came out, he was whining, bitching, and moaning because of basically how they screwed his character over and everything. And how he disagreed. He called it Jake Skywalker, not my Skywalker, sort of stuff. But now he kept coming back. And he's been in like with this, and then those new screenshots have been coming out from the behind the scenes and stuff. It's like the dude's nothing but complicit.
Right.
So,
well, this is why I bring up the point. Well, continue, and then I'll say my point.
Well, that's just basically it, right? It's just called, dude, you wanted to make all this noise about how they screwed over your character and everything, and yet you keep coming back. Okay, final movie, you're gonna at least show up for that last scene or whatever. But then you come back for these shows, and on top of it, you have him going on about the bad attachments. Hiss evil, even though those were all the things that basically Luke did. His attachment to his friends and then technically to his own father, trying to save him and all this. You're still gonna be. I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, I can only hope the paycheck was nice and fat, but at the same time, Mark Hamill's become
this is my piece on it is like So to your point. He did exactly that. He was all up in it, there was a big kerfuffle about it and everything, but then he became complicit. So this is why I brought up the point, and everybody, everything's a conspiracy theory with you, you know, like whatever. No, but are they selling out? Like, why are they coming back? Like, why did Ewan McGregor come back? Why did Hayden Christensen come back?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did
I mean,
Billy D. Williams come back? Like, that's why I brought the point. Like, I asked you the question. I think I was episode 15 or 14.
Paycheck.
I was like, yeah, are they selling out? If there's anybody that I think could make a stink about this, George himself, obviously, and then Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill's been one of the most involved and most vocal out of all the characters.
He was.
Well, yeah, no, touche, well played.
I think that the mouse finally got him to shut up.
How much did they pay? How much did he pay him?
I can only hope it was a lot.
You know, or like there's two arguments to this. Like, one, like he was pissed off and he was being vocal, and he just found out. Like, he just, like, oh well, like nothing's gonna happen. They're gonna do what they want, so like I'm just gonna, lay over and show my belly, right? Or they paid him off, and he was quiet. I mean, I guess there's a couple arguments you can make on it. I think honestly, like, these guys are just selling out, and that hurts, right?
I mean, unfortunately,
I would have never thought these guys that were loyal to Lucas would come out and sell out. Like, if it was me, like, you could throw. There's no amount of money. Like, if I
come on,
Lucas, and I was an actor, listen, you can make that, but like, no, like, if you're a true Star Wars fan, like, how would you, like, why would you sell out if you're a true Star Wars fan and loyal to Lucas?
Well, and it's it doesn't even have to be so much about loyalty, but also just having a degree of principles about wanting to stand by what was established and what. Loyalty and stuff. You're right, but yeah, just it goes into so many different aspects. It's just like where is any of that.
We can remove loyalty off the table and at least stand on continuity.
No, you're right. I said you're right. Yeah, and then it's that absolutely. It's all the continuity.
But I wonder what boggles my mind, to your point when he made that tweet, is like, so basically he's given his blessing for this actor to. What? Huh?
Yeah.
I digress. Anyways, I was hoping we could say that for side piece, but like it went down. We went there, so
no worries. All right, let's continue this.
Leave us alone. When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father?
Okay, I think I don't know if you've seen any of the memes been floating around.
Oh, did he just say that?
Yeah, he did. He went for the burn. I mean, I mean, that's one of the few things in line for Owen is just kind of, giving shit to Obi-Wan, because I mean, he it was established in even the Kenobi book, and prior to that, it was just called, he didn't want Obi-Wan anywhere near them. He just wanted him to keep away. So, but I mean, I guess at the same time, either Owen knows what Anakin became as Darth Vader, or it's just the fact of Obi-Wan shows up with his kid and is like, yeah, here's Anakin's kid. I need you to raise him for me.
Here's Anakin's kid. I need you to raise him. I can't tell you what happened to his dad, but you'll find out here eventually, soon enough.
And I mean, it's kind of alluded that they have an idea from, in A New Hope, Beru says, he just has too much of his father in him, and Owen's just like, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Either he knows what Anakin turned into, or is this like, yeah, he turned into a meat popsicle, so don't want that to happen to him.
Talk about burn, though. Oof, like you're trained his father.
I know.
Oh.
You still want Kenobi?
Why? Who told you he was even still out there? Why would? I mean, I don't know.
Have you seen that?
What?
Have you seen that GIF where I forget where the girl's from, but she got all the math. She's like got the confused look, and all the math equations are in front of her eyes.
Yeah. I know the one.
Yeah, that's me right now.
Well, I don't know if that's just
out.
like a soundbite from a later episode, and they're just throwing it in there, or if it's from an early. I'm just like,
could be.
What? How?
He's gone.
Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places.
Okay, we're in Las Vegas, I think.
Yeah, that this is the new, more of the new, little, new, I got it. It almost makes me think of a rip off of Nar Shaddaa. Just looking at it.
Don't do. How dare you?
I can't help it.
Shaddaa.
It's not. I said a rip off Nar Shaddaa.
I get it. That's Nar Shaddaa holds a very special place in my heart.
Well, I'm just telling it like it is.
I know. God, look, this is like what? Like, where are they? Like, did they ever come out and say like where this takes place?
No, I forgot the name of the planet, but we went over it in one of the articles. It's some new gambling planet that they've created for the show. When it's like, but you already had the one from Last Jedi, and you already had Nar Shaddaa within the in the lore. Why not just use that? Oh wait, you're too stupid. Gotcha.
Too stupid.
Okay, where did my mouse go? There it is.
I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him.
You know, it's funny. People were so surprised seeing Obi-Wan beat up these guys. But I'm like, wait, he beat up guys hand-to-hand combat in the Last of the Jedi book because he was still trying to hide the fact that he was a Jedi. So it's like, yeah, not that surprising.
Oh, are you referencing Kenobi?
Yeah. No, not Kenobi. Yeah. Well, Kenobi, yeah, in the Kenobi book as well, he did the same thing. Can't just go whipping out your lightsaber wherever you want.
Not anymore.
So I guess I had completely forgotten, but this is like their whole base from Jedi Fallen Order.
Huh.
Yeah.
I played the game, but I guess I forgot.
It's the last. It's the last level of the game, basically, where you face off with the Inquisitor that's been hounding you the whole time, and
and it's
very
underwater.
obvious. The very obvious thing of it's the apprentice of the gal you're running with.
Yeah,
and then Vader shows up, and that was like the best part of the game is when you're running and hiding from Vader.
So this is they're underwater, like the base is underwater. It's underwater.
Yeah, it goes underwater.
Like
the base goes underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't run, Obi-Wan!
So stupid.
Oh, our Vader
what
tease.
What is this? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
What is? I can't even use words right now.
Look at it. I didn't notice him.
That's a big boy.
This is the height of the Empire, and we got a chonky boy.
This guy he's been drinking too much Corellian ale.
He's definitely been he's not up to.
Does he even have a belt on?
Wow.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens. I can't. I'm not even say it. Continue. How was he hired?
He's the body positivity hire. I didn't even notice that the first time around.
Have you seen this before? Did you watch?
I
this
already watched this trailer. Yeah.
And
I already
how did you
watched it.
miss him? He takes up
I
3/4
don't.
of the screen.
I wasn't like pausing it and everything like we are right now, going through this stupid thing. I just watched.
Night.
Oh,
That boy's not chasing anybody down.
no. He definitely hang on, he definitely stopped working out once he hit officer of some kind. I don't know what he is,
Good
but
night. Does he even have the belt on?
yeah, you can see it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but he's got one on. He's got one on.
I didn't know the Imperials had
It's there.
spandex.
God, apparently even by time the 10 years prior to the rebellion, standards were lowering for the Imperial officers.
Yeah. He's the first guy I saw in the scene.
I just couldn't help but still see how goofy he looks. It's like, dude, really?
Look at this guy. Like,
I know. Like I said, I missed him the first time around.
Shame on you.
I know.
Okay. Is there more of this? How much?
Yeah.
More?
Ooh. Yeah. Yep. I got it. There we go. So yeah, that was Kenobi trailer number 2. And I can hear your enthusiasm and excitement. Are you still there? Did you drop? Well, it seems Jay Hitman had an unfortunate existential crisis and has left the chat completely at this time. Oh, there. Are you back? Hello? Hello? I can hear you. Oh, I can hear you. All right, good. Hello? Well, he's trying to get back onto that. Another little article that I was going to be bringing up here, and hopefully he'll be back on in any moment. So over here on StarWars.com, we do have a neat little thing about for Clones at 20, R.A. Salvatore on adapting episode 2. The best-selling author of the original novelization looks back. So we get the middle chapter of the prequel trilogy, Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, arrived May 16th, 2002. To celebrate the movie's 20th anniversary, StarWars.com presents Clones at 20, a special series of interviews, editorials, and more. I wonder if they'll be also tackling Clone Wars, the animated show that they did, which was much better than what came later. Excuse me. R.A. Salvatore, who prefers to be called Bob, has been an established fantasy writer for over 3 decades. Ooh, that's cool. Known for his popular character Dris Do'Urden in the Forgotten Realms series, among dozens of titles. Salvatore also wrote 2 Star Wars novels, including the adaptation of Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, which is very good. It definitely helps flesh out a lot more for just overall what's going on. They added little details of kind of interactions with Boba and Django, how he's kind of teaching the kid and passing on his own knowledge, and just how it is. He does see Boba as a legitimate son instead of just some little clone like he does with the rest that have been taken of him. And then also goes into pretty well the relationship with Padme, Anakin, and then also just kind of fleshing out more for Padme's own background with her family, even her relationship with her sister, and just kind of her sister's own nudging too, which was I thought kind of funny of getting Padme to try and settle down, start a family instead of always being running off into all these political mishaps. Anyway, so which were Attack of the Clones, which arrived along with the movie 20 years ago in the spring of 2002. He joined StarWars.com to look back on the experience and speaks in general about Star Wars series, writing, and storytelling. And he had done Vector Prime. I did hear he caught a lot of flack for some of the events in Vector Prime. Definitely one of the big deaths in the book that kind of set the tone for everything going forward in that whole series. I'm just gonna quickly send a message to Hitman just to see what's going on his end. Anyway, so StarWars.com to cover some of your background before working on the novelization. You'd written the Star Wars Legends novel, The New Jedi Order, Vector Prime, which kicked off that series in 1999. How did you come to write for Star Wars, and what attracted you to the realm? So Salvatore responds, I was a big fan of the movies. I was 17 or 18 when the first one came out. We arrived late at the theater and had to sit in the first row, which was awesome for that movie. And the Star Destroyer went overhead. As I became a writer, I had no expectations to do a Star Wars book, but I had signed with Del Rey to publish my. Hello, welcome back.
Technical difficulties. I am back. A meteor. It's the craziest thing. We were talking about Obi-Wan, and I think I saw the Night Sister, or whatever the not Night Sister. It's Inquisitors fly over and crash somewhere. So hopefully we don't have to watch it. I heard Del Rey. What are you talking about? Del Rey?
I was while you were having technical difficulties, I was just trying to fill airtime. And this is something I was going to be bringing up anyways. Yes. This is an article on StarWars.com, kind of a 20-year anniversary for adapting Episode 2 with R.A. Salvatore, the writer.
Yes.
And I was just kind of going, and so I was just getting it. And he'd also, of course, was the writer for Vector Prime, the first book in the New Jedi Order series, which, like I was explaining, was just, that he got a lot of flack for this book. Because of
he's had a rough go at it.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Don't ever kill. Don't ever. What do you
kill
drop
a
planet
character?
On Jeudy.
Yeah. But I mean, like it was
unconfirmed death threats. Yeah.
Supposedly. And it certainly those set the tone for what was going forward that new book series. So, I mean, hey, go in ballsy, right?
Have we decided if we're gonna do? Are we gonna review these 2019? Could have been 24 books. I think Open Airlock was talking about.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I found 2, so I only need another 17 more.
Something like that. Anyway, so I was just getting into the start of this because they're doing a little Q&A with him. And so he's just kind of going over his history and saying how, he never had expectations to do a Star Wars book. And he signed with Del Rey to publish My Demon Wars novels. And I think they might have lost another writer early in the process of work on the new Jedi Order, and they asked me to kick it off. I hadn't really followed the books up to that point. Star Wars author Mike Stackpole was a good friend of mine and helped me find my way. We were on a short timeline, and it wasn't until after I turned in the first outline that they told me that I would have to kill Chewbacca in the story. Ooh, they told him to.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Wow. I thought that was his decision.
No, apparently it was the heads over there at Luke over at Lucasfilm, Lucas whatever's cover, or Del Rey, I don't know. Whoever had the orders that said, we're gonna be killing characters. Chewbacca's gonna be one of them, and you get to be the author.
Good. No, it sounds like I wonder if it was Del Rey. I highly doubt it would be Lucas.
No, it would have to be coming down from Lucas. He's the one that usually had to approve outlines and stuff like that. Oh yeah.
Well,
because he was the one that he was also the one that made the point that they couldn't kill. They wanted to kill. They had the outline to Lucas that they wanted to kill Luke Skywalker and have Anakin Solo take his place effectively, but because of the fact of them running, George was working on the prequels at the time. He found it might be too confusing for people for there being two Anakins running around in the Star Wars universe at that time. So I watched. They had to change it, and there was an absolute no kill on Luke whatsoever. But then it was called, okay, then I believe it was Lucas that said you'd kill Anakin. So I mean, this he approved of. He had to approve or disapprove of any of these little outlines and stuff. So
that's just crazy because these books were written back in 90? They come out in 99.
I think so.
Is it 99? So obviously, well before the mouse got involved. That's just crazy.
Oh,
that it would have come down from Lucas. I would never have thought that. And I was watching. So Open Airlock had that the EU University I was watching, and I only got about halfway through it, but I don't know if he talked about this specifically, this issue within the books about the planet being dropped on Chewie, but that'd be crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know if Lucas.
They were kind of going over that first book a bit, so
interesting.
Yep. So going on, StarWars.com then asked, didn't ask, but pointed out, and that was a powerful moment for fans. Salvatore, yes it was. That's how I got involved in Star Wars. And then StarWars.com, and in the wake of Vector Prime's release, you would have been asked to do the novelization for Episode 2. Salvatore, yes, they asked me, and my first response was actually no. There'd been controversy with Vector Prime and Chewbacca. Shortly after that, my brother passed away. It was a very rough time. I do want to say that the Star Wars fans were great, and even the ones who weren't happy about Chewbacca, I understood why. See, this is the thing. There are people, while there's drama, yes, they knew. Fans just get very passionate, They get a little crazy. Right. That's just the whole thing of fandom, right?
Right.
You get into it, you're really invested and really involved, and you don't want to see certain characters die, but unfortunately, that does tend to be that's going to happen.
Not Chewie, though.
You can't. You got to at least prove at some point there isn't always plot armor on your characters. They have to be put in danger, and you have to have some of them put in major danger in order to make the threats real. You can't just have it be very loosey-goosey, so to speak,
Yeah, unless you're Mando, then you have all the plot armor and then some.
Legit, he wears his plot armor. He says so I took a pass on Episode 2, but then my friend Terry Brooks called me. and he'd written the novelization of The Phantom Menace. He said, "Are you crazy? You get to work with George Lucas. He helped me get out of my dark place and told me that this was something I wanted to do." StarWars.com then asks, as far as working with George Lucas, what did the process entail? Salvatore: most of my work was with Sue Rostani, Lucy Atre Wilson, and Howard Rothman on the Lucasfilm team. It was Election Day 2000 when I went up to Skywalker Ranch for the first time. They gave me the script of the movie, and I went back to the hotel. That night I was reading, and every time I looked up at the TV screen, we had a different president as it went back and forth. It was a surreal night. Next day, I was scheduled for a 45-minute interview with George. We met in his office, and right at the 45-minute mark, his assistant came in and said someone was on the phone. But he waved them away, and 3 hours later, we were still talking. He took me downstairs to look at a few scenes in progress. Now, this is, again, this is from the words of this author himself. He spent all this time with George Lucas, going over all the details that was going to be for the movie translated into the book.
Right.
So yes, again, it's like, if you need more evidence, here it is of Lucas being involved with the extra content that was going on for the Star Wars universe. It wasn't just handed off to, just a handoff and going, okay, make it.
Right.
No, he was there. He was in the process. He okayed. He said no to things. That's how it worked out, man. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so then StarWars.com. By that point, principal photography had been completed, and they were beginning to edit the movie. Excuse me. Salvatore. George was gracious, warm, and inviting. I wasn't afraid to question things in the script. We went back and forth, and it was a superb creative session. George was very passionate about the story, as you would expect. I kept thinking that Terry was right. I'll never forget the experience. I was able to go back a handful of times throughout the process. During that tour for the book, my wife Diane and I went back to the ranch another time. We were eating lunch, and George saw us, and he came over and talked to us. StarWars.com. So he was a good collaborator in that sense and open to your ideas? Salvatore. Absolutely. I had to be true to the script, of course, but George chases the creative impulse when he's working in the moment. StarWars.com. There's a quote from you at the time where you describe yourself as an action writer with a visual style. Do you think that's what helped lend your skills to something like Star Wars? Salvatore. I think Star Wars had a huge effect on me in that way. One of the reasons I'm a visual writer is because I grew up watching TV and movies. When Herman Melville wrote about a whale or J.R.R. Tolkien wrote about a dragon, they had to describe it in great detail. That's changed. If I say dragon, the reader sees it, and my job is to tell you what the characters think when they see it. That lets the reader know how bad this one happens to be. Or I find ways to delineate the dragon from their normal perception, as opposed to describing every part of a whale. I started writing professionally in the 1980s, and in a way, we were the first generation of writers to grow up with TV. With that in mind, my style probably lent itself to Star Wars because Star Wars influenced my style. StarWars.com. You mentioned that you reviewed cuts of the movie with George Lucas. Would you also have been shown concept art and other materials? I assume that was important in order to describe things visually. Salvatore. Yes, especially in the case of Amidala's wardrobe. There were some amazing pieces. StarWars.com. To come to some specific moments in the book, the story opens up with one of Anakin Skywalker's nightmares. He sees his mother, who shatters to pieces like glass. Considering these moments when you expand on something in the movie, how much is coming from your conversations with Mr. Lucas and how much came out of your own invention? Salvatore. The parts of the book that were not in the script were mostly the parts about Shmi and the Tuscans. Initially, I interwove everything with the main story, but then I learned that the actual events of the movie take place over just a few days rather than months. So it had to be condensed at the front. I had freedom with that material and could tell the story how Klieg Lars lost his leg, for example. And later in the Tuscan village, I explored the moment when Anakin briefly goes to the dark side. I didn't play with too much else and followed the script. That's where I wish they had some more of the extra new music from like Revenge of the Sith, because I think that would have enhanced that part of the audiobook.
Yeah.
StarWars.com. You'd been a fan since 1977. Was it fun to explore familiar characters like Owen and Beru? Salvatore. Absolutely. That was true with Jango Fett as well. The movies were my chief reference for everything. Going back to Vector Prime and my first experience with Star Wars, the first time I wrote dialogue for Princess Leia, my hands were shaking. So doing characters like Beru, Owen, and Shmi was special. I was doing things in the lore that I wasn't being directed to do. That was pretty cool. StarWars.com. You mentioned Anakin slip into the dark side when he massacres the village. The book stays with that scene as it takes place. There's a powerful moment where you describe a small voice within Anakin's mind that's telling him not to do it. But then this much more powerful sense in his mind feels invigorated. Is that you imagining what the dark side is? Salvatore. That was me, and I've explored that with my dark elf character Dritz in my other books. He leaves his home and goes off to the Underdark, this place where everything wants to kill you. He develops an alter ego where he loses himself in this feral, instinctual fighting mode. That also comes from my own experience working as a bouncer at bars. All right. You had to try to be reasonable with people, but there came a moment when you had to just react. Unfortunately, you had to shut your emotions down and just go. I learned that there were people who were good fighters who couldn't do the job. They'd freeze in the moment when you had to act. Others could perform as necessary. I've explored that theme several times, and it fits with the light dark side concept. It was new to me in the context of the Force, but it's a very human emotion. With Anakin, it went deeper. There was more to it than just practicality in that scene. Yeah, nothing like Anakin going ape shit. StarWars.com. It's interesting to think that Anakin and Dritz overlap in a way. Salvatore, when you're a writer, you're going to have rhymes in the heroes, villains across your work. It's about a common human experience. I don't think you need the Force to explain what Anakin was going through in that moment. Was it any different from Ralphie in A Christmas Story when he beats up the bully? So then back to StarWars.com. The language you employ isn't laced with light side, dark side. You just describe his feelings. It doesn't need the mystical context in that moment. Salvatore. It's human. Frodo putting on the ring in Lord of the Rings is human. Straight to the point. StarWars.com. You also expand on the character of Padme. There's more development about her family background and her conflicting emotions about her personal desires versus her commitment to her career. Do you see Padme as a tragic character in that sense, that ultimately she is unable to achieve a balance in this way? Salvatore. Absolutely. I think if you look at some of the early scenes in the movie, when she's with Anakin, she is almost childlike and free. We see this conflict all the time, even with the royals in the world today. There's this conflict when the office becomes more important than the life. Padme is a good person who knows she can make a difference, but it's at the expense of doing a lot of the things she wants to do. She has to put those things aside, be selfless. That includes being selfless with her own emotions, and that's hard. Do you ever go through this book?
The Vector Prime.
No, the episode 2 book.
No, so no, it's on my list. So I need episode 1, which was done by Terry Brooks, yeah, and then Salvatore did the second one. So no,
Right.
I actually found a unabridged version, so it's gonna be on
Yeah.
my next list of books
Okay.
to read. Did you? I've heard good things though.
Oh no,
About it.
that's what I really did like about it was the extra. I mean, I guess you could kind of say padding out, but it was just some more background on a lot of the characters that you didn't get out of the movie. And
Right.
yeah, fleshing out more of the little bit of relationship between Anakin and Padme, and just Padme herself, like they're going over here in the.
Well, and that's like what I wish. And like I said, I guess I can't make the comics. I didn't read the book, but like in the movie, like I think it would have been better if we had a little bit more context between
A little bit,
like the
yeah.
relationship piece at least. But
Yeah.
did you do the abridged version or did you do
No,
the
I
unabridged?
was unabridged, of course.
Okay. Well, I didn't know because
Yeah.
when it was like a year or so ago when I was looking for it, I saw the abridged version, and I recently found out that there is an unabridged version. So I'll be getting the unabridged version.
All right. StarWars.com. As strong as she is, and she may be one of the strongest characters in the whole story. Okay. The times are too strenuous even for her. Salvatore, it's fascinating to keep learning about the attainment of power. There are some who come to power for selfish reasons, like the Emperor in Star Wars. There are others who are born into power and have the struggle with it. You see it in all levels of life. In a story like Star Wars, the main characters are going to attain huge responsibilities by nature of the genre. That's a struggle they all have to deal with and figure out. It's like the struggle of being a parent too. StarWars.com. Considering Anakin and Padme together, I had a question about their impromptu kiss at the lakeside on Naboo. Again, you bring in a new element where Padme is discussing an old man character who lives on the island on the lake and creates these beautiful glass fixtures. She talks about how the glass mesmerized her, adding an interesting dynamic to the scene. Where did that originate?
This is an interesting question.
Yeah, well, Salvatore, it probably came from Jeudy Brooks, the wife of Terry Brooks. Right around the time they were redecorating their home in Jeudy, I hope I'm saying that right, showed us the work of this wonderful glass artist. Frankly, those little details make their way into scenes because that's the way writers do it. You know what I mean? Copy editors always hate me because I try to communicate the way people talk and think in my work, and that doesn't always fit with style guides and rules about grammar. They're tools, not rules, and I use them the way I see fit to convey the emotions I want to convey. I might place a comma because I want there to be a pause when someone is speaking. This doesn't just apply to the way I structure a sentence, but also in how people relate unrelated things to each other and find meaning for what they're going through at that moment. That's the way people are. The glass that Padme talked about was beautiful and intricate, so complex in its beauty that she couldn't really understand it. It kind of tells you how she felt about the kiss. Oh, pissed off Anakin.
Yeah.
StarWars.com. Of course, you've been a fantasy writer for many years, and George Lucas has sometimes described Star Wars as space fantasy rather than science fiction. I was curious to hear your take on that. Salvatore, if I had to characterize it, I would also call it a fantasy. I don't want things to be explained to me about the Force. That's where the magic comes from. Focusing on the characters is another element it shares with fantasy, which primarily deals with the hero's journey. But I don't like to characterize or pigeonhole things. It doesn't matter what it is. The story is either good or bad. Star Wars is not even my favorite George Lucas movie. My favorite is American Graffiti. We all bring intellectual reasons about why we like something, and that's usually has to do with our own sense of self. But the bottom line is that I might not like a book or movie, but to someone else, it might be the greatest thing they've they've ever experienced. It will have meaning to them because the reader or viewer brings a ton to the process. Star Wars.com, art is subjective. It was. Salvatore, yes, and you can't really desubjectify something. The Hobbit is my favorite book because it changed my life. It opened up my imagination, and for me, it will never be equaled. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy something else like James Joyce. I think The Dead is one of the greatest novellas ever written. I read the final pages aloud once to a high school class, and the students were bored with it. To me, it was something of the greatest writing in literature, but it didn't work for them. They are their own individuals. So I'm not a big fan of pigeonholing, but Star Wars reads more like the fantasy novels I've read than any science fiction ones. And that was their interview.
It's very interesting to hear like where he comes from and whatnot. Especially.
Yeah, and to kind of hear the process that he went into for setting up the book, and then also just what he's done for his own books.
Right.
But I'll admit, I haven't read any of his other books other than what he did for the Clone Wars adaptation or the Attack of the Clones.
Well, I just feel, I don't know. And it's an argument that I guess a point that we've brought up in the past, but it's like, Disney could have done so much more with Star Wars. They could have done so much if I tweeted this out a couple weeks ago. It's like they literally had everything they needed, and it was given to them on a silver platter, and they were just refused to. I mean, just think for a minute, if they had taken just a few ideas or just a few things from Legends, right? Like what could it have been, and what, you know what I mean? And
well, like a lot of people that I see, their big idea was, adapting the Thrawn trilogy as the new trilogy of movies, because then you also had, you still had some of the Force and stuff like that, but it was an enemy that wasn't a Sith.
Right.
You didn't have the Sith involved. You had, you had the crazed ex-Jedi Seo Borath or whatever.
Yeah.
Jorath.
Jorath.
I forget. Yeah. You had him, but I mean, he was just kind of a mad, crazed clone Jedi. And that was kind of then it was also elaborating on, the whole who they cloned and what was the purpose for certain things. So no, they had the templates all there. That's what I keep saying with this whole Kenobi series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. They had the Kenobi book, they had the template, the blueprints all right there for them. They could have just, and especially doing it as a TV show, they could have done the whole book practically. They could have maybe found a smart way to do the kind of inner dialogue that Obi-Wan has and help flesh all that stuff out too. But they, it's funny. I keep commenting when people bring this stuff up of stuff that they keep noticing of how Disney takes certain expanded universe concepts, characters, or ideas, or whatever. Especially like how there's been buzz about the potential of Kyle Katarn being introduced. It's like they acted so high on themselves, right?
Yeah.
They thought they had the answers. They could make their trilogy. They could make their movies, and they'd keep raking it in and rake in. For the most part, they've still made good chunks of money, except for Solo. But it's funny, they got rid of Legends, or they got rid of the EU. They called it Legends and kicked it out basically of the Star Wars universe to make way for their story and continuity, because they felt it was too hard to keep up with. Yet all these book writers seem to grasp it, no problem.
They did just fine with it.
Yeah. But no, it's just funny because then when their own ideas and their own quote unquote original stuff doesn't fly like they hope it does, they go looting into the EU, and then on top of it, they don't even give credit. They act like it's brand new. It's their new idea, and it's like the rest of us are looking at it and going, "Wait, whoa! That was from the original. That was from the original EU. What are you people doing?"
Right.
You know, but then we're suddenly the assholes because we're pointing this stuff out. But it's like, but that's what they're doing.
We're the bigots. We're the the
whatevers. You know, all because we're like that. What do you? It's like so you got. We wanted the expanded universe content to be adapted. That was the thing. Everyone was hoping for to see, see Thrawn on the big screen, see the potential of like the new Jedi Order stuff, the Yuuzhan Vong. That would have been another place, especially for being older characters, Hamill being older and stuff. That would have been a perfect, probably timeline to start for some movies and some of the content. It would have been called, okay, you can read the books for fuller detail. We're going to adapt them. Yes, we're going to condense things, but if you want then the full story, hey, guess what? Here's the whole line of books you can go and read.
Well, so, and even from a financial standpoint, that would be like how to market it. You know, adapt it, and then you can say, okay, so here's an adaptation, and here are now the books. And so I hope they don't do Thrawn. I hope they don't do the new Jedi Order. I hope they don't do Fate of the Jedi. Like, I want them no. Like,
they're see this is the thing. They're not, but they are. They're gonna basically do their kind of own versions. It's not gonna be an adaptation. It's just gonna be it's very loosely adapted, I guess I should say, because it's gonna be using their own characters, basically then to prop up we're using it as a vehicle to prop up their own characters on top of what we've already been seeing. Look at how Din Djarin has been basically the Boba Fett replacement. That's how they've been building him up. That's how
piss poor.
Generally look better than Boba Fett in his own show. I mean, look at it. The Book of Boba Fett, the 2 episodes everybody was clamoring about were the episodes centered around Mandalorian.
I almost wonder if I had just a thought on this. I wonder if this was all intentional. If they did the Book of Boba the way that they did it to replace Boba with Din Djarin.
I mean,
deconstruct Boba.
Patter with
or they're just idiots and they don't know how to produce anything.
Well, where
could
I
be a bit of both.
That. But I mean, even Fennec Shan, she was kicking more ass than he was. Basically.
Well, I know, but that begs the point.
I mean, they gave Boba Fett the big moment of like riding on the Rancor and shit like that, killing and quote unquote killing Cad Bane. We'll see how that actually panned out, but it was just called too little, too late. You already made him into a big goof,
right?
And you already.
Let's not forget the knockout brawl that he had with Chrysanthemum, or what they call him,
the big
Santos,
Wookiee, yeah.
Santos, whatever they called him. It was Chrysanthemum, but then he like nicknamed him. But no, like totally like butchered that character, butchered the character and deconstructed it. But then you have everybody and their grandmother that loves Mando, who can take a pelting from a vast array of weapons and not ever get killed.
Well, and then it was funny, like you found that that tweet out there, and I'm going to bring it up right now.
Oh yes,
like you said, I'm still waiting for the Disney Book of Boba Fett fans to defend this scene. Can't wait to hear their case. And it's the Sarlacc was able to pull down a spaceship, but not Lando Calrissian, making Lando by far the strongest living being in Star Wars canon. And I
I love this tweet. And I gave an side note, I gave an open invitation to any Disney fan out there to defend it, and not a single comment. Either I'm not popular enough to where they see it, or they just don't want to fight me on it. But I please.
They'll pick and choose the battles, yeah. And
I specifically tagged you in it, Raging Rhino, Script Trooper, OG, all the people that I follow, just in case one brave child of the mouse wanted to comment on it. Not a single one.
No, it was pretty quiet on that home front.
No, but that's an example, like just the ridiculousness, like, you know, and that's probably one of my favorite memes of the week, if not the month.
It's right up there. It's right up there, man.
Let's pull down slave
Between
one.
that,
Yeah,
between that and the Owen Lars roasting.
Oh yeah, like you trained his father. Like, okay, guy, let's talk about that. Tell you about a guy named Sheep.
Hey, I was about to say, hey, there was a side dude. Okay,
Yeah,
he was not playing fair.
yeah.
Oh jeez.
Well, there's another article I wanted to go over. Let's see here. Did you have another one you wanted to go over? Because
no, that was kind of the one that I was looking at. I was like, yeah, that's something I want to bring up.
Should we do?
I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize it hit a 20-year marker.
I didn't realize that either. I want to do this. Let me. Oh, here we go. I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm going to drop it in the private chat real quick.
Alrighty.
Just your thoughts on this one, because I saw this and thought it'd be an interesting article to go over.
Wow, we didn't even hit the hour 20 minute and he got dropped out of the call. So I'll be bringing up that thing that he just shared now and get ready for when he comes back. Now, I didn't know this was a article because I didn't see anything. But welcome back.
Hello. Yeah, so I saw this and thought it'd be interesting to go over.
Alden Ehrenreich was an awesome Han Solo, and he was great because he made the role his own. He didn't try to be Harrison Ford, and it was for the better. Oh, for the love! This is like the most common thing ever.
I know your love of Solo, so I wanted to bring this
Well,
up.
no, it's like every time there's a divergent, they always end like their headline of, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I just love the hashtag make Solo 2 happen.
But Solo lost money.
And a lot of money at that, if I'm not mistaken. So what I didn't even
you're trying to make a movie surrounded by a very iconic character, and then you have an actor that you do have to at least try to be not Harrison Ford but Han Solo. You have to be that character, and I did not get that from this guy. He came off to me as being kind of bland and meh.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I was more as, and I didn't like the cat. I didn't think the cat. I mean, I think the only thing that sometimes worked was the guy that was casted for Lando, because he was trying to impersonate him.
Yeah,
because he kind of was trying to put on the voice and all that. So he was the only one to me that kind of worked. But then the whole him wanting to bang his robot and stuff just got weird.
Yeah.
So, no, I always for the better.
I thought that was interesting. So,
no, I mean, if they want to do it, fine. But personally, I don't want to. I don't think it's gonna.
So personally, when I watched this movie, the only thing I remember from this movie was basically Maul at the end.
Right.
That's
It's kind of like
literally
the Darth Vader scene at Rogue One. That's what everybody remembers most.
for sure.
They don't really remember much of the rest of the movie, except for the
Mainly,
shills that try and go, no, the movie's actually really great.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you only remember the freaking Darth Vader scene like the rest of us. That's the only thing that stuck out.
mainly because this movie was just so, again, just my opinion, just so it's terrible.
Well, what was funny too was like I almost saw lingering hints that they had potentially gone through the Han Solo trilogy books, but they just completely lost the script and did not, and then just kind of just stopped following it whatsoever. And then it was stupid how they gave him his name. It was like, but they established that pretty well in the books why he had that name. It's his family name.
Yeah. So, do you think they'll make a second one?
I don't put anything beyond them.
Well,
you know?
I don't know.
But the thing is they'll follow the money where they can.
Yeah.
And since Solo didn't quite bring it, they probably look at it like, maybe not. So
yeah,
I can't give a for sure yes or no, just because it's just always so up in the air with these people. They'll start one project, but then immediately end one, and then push one forward that you're like, why the hell did you make this? It sounded like you had some better ideas in the wing. Where was that?
How much money did Solo lose? Because I know it didn't.
I don't know
anything.
the exact.
I don't think it made anything. I'm pretty sure.
I know it got money, but I don't think they had made their
money back.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that you never make me rewatch it.
I don't even want to. I the funny thing was I didn't find it as like horribly offensive as I did like with some of the sequel movies.
Even because you read the books, you read the
I didn't read them. I listened to the abridged audiobooks.
They
were good. They were good. They were good.
No,
the audiobooks were good.
But then, so listening to the books and then watching this movie, you weren't offended in the slightest.
I think because that point, I just, like I said, I noticed things, but it didn't. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go through the motions and see it.
How close? I mean, did it even like come close to?
It wasn't. It wasn't like. It wasn't like It wasn't like how we just get Luke overexerting himself for whatever stupid reason and he just dies and stuff like that. It wasn't Last Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what the freak were you thinking with this? And you had the stupid dialogue between, what was it? In Last Jedi, it's like between Poe and
Rose or whatever.
No, no, it was Poe and like the Imperial officer.
Yeah.
And like it was like in the beginning. I forget the guy's name. But
wasn't important.
No, not particularly. But that it was like that. I hate to always hate to use some of this terminology, but it's like it is so freaking cringe-worthy. It is not fun at all. And then just the stupidity of like, you have your top officer pilot guy that you're relying upon to do certain missions, and you aren't letting him in on the big plan. And then you have the worst freaking rebel leader do the whole hyperspace whatever kamikaze attack.
What was it? They named it the maneuver after her. What was it?
The Hodo? No.
Yes, the Hodo remover.
Holdo? I don't know.
Holdo remover.
All I know is she was freaking horrible.
Yeah, goes into hyperspace through the freaking...
But the Solo movie, like it was just kind of like a flash in the pan, because I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
it just didn't have like, I don't know. It just wasn't that, like I said, it just wasn't that like I said, offensive to me or anything. It didn't really. It was just kind of. I think it was just what I was expecting them to do, which was this low effort story content. When I'm like, dude, you could have gone off of those books and it would have
I'm
been
just
1,000
surprised
times better.
because he's such a Han Solo is such an iconic character. So like knowing that, in my mind, you would think that you would try to put some actual effort into making a movie about Han Solo and not what you produced. But again, just my opinion. I've not read the book,
and
though,
I don't know if they were planning a Solo trilogy, but it's like at least in like those books, it got it set up to then why he wanted nothing to do with rebellions, why he wanted nothing to do with fighting the Empire and stuff like that. He just wanted to do his smuggling business and be completely on his own. And it was a great journey that he went on to get him to that point. And I thought it was great. I enjoyed it.
But it did none of that in the movie, though.
No, not that I remember. But then the movie is pretty freaking forgettable in my book.
Except
I remember bits and pieces. Well,
and his lightsaber and his legs that he got from Filoni. I mean, the Night Sisters.
Yeah, basically.
That's running the crime syndicate apparently now. After he spent time in a dumpster on Naboo. Should we do that the last one that I just put in the private chat, and then we'll get to Mando?
The one that you put in the Discord chat?
Yeah. Well, I think I just put it in the private chat here.
I haven't seen it pop up yet. I still see the Twitter one you just sent.
Oh, it would help if
there it is.
Put sent.
That would help.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. So this one's definitely pretty heavy. Especially when you start looking at it in the whole political sphere.
It'd be good to cover.
No, I'm totally for it. I'm just gonna, this is kind of where I've been with some of this stuff, and I'm as we've been, like I said, as we've been doing this, it gets easier and easier talking.
Yeah.
But there are always certain topics that I'm trying to, kind of work myself up to at times, and
for sure,
try and get more at ease. Because to me, when it comes to stuff like this, I grew up with the whole idea of there was always kind of certain topics you didn't bring up amongst friends, family, or when you're among coworkers. You kept it generally light and fun, talking
politics,
pop culture stuff.
Star Wars.
It was always the thing of you kept politics and religion out of the conversation.
And Star Wars, and Star Trek.
No, you could talk about that stuff. That stuff is fun. Star Trek, Star Wars. That's the fun stuff you could talk about. But then, as I, and I've learned, that was kind of the weapon that was used to keep people from speaking on these certain topics.
Your family's probably a lot more cultured than mine, because the cops always showed up Thanksgiving dinner when somebody brought up Star Trek and Star Wars.
No, not a lot of my family were really into this stuff, like my brother and I were.
Yeah.
So it was Star Wars, Star Trek didn't really come up.
Well, Uncle Mike said Star Trek was better than Star Trek, and I decked him in the mouth when I was 10 years old. That was my first charge.
I believe it.
I didn't get charged, but the cop's like, hey, you can't do that just because somebody doesn't like Star Wars. I was like, don't tell me what to do.
Yep. So from Bounding into Comics, John F. Trent writes, journalist who exposed Disney's twisted agenda launches quote drop Disney campaign to target company stock price could already be working. And there has been a lot of people talking about this subject, and I would just point you at them.
Yeah.
Like, RK Outpost, go to him. He's been talking about it a lot. About Disney getting effed in the A for sure with some of these stock drops and stuff. Yeah, Open Airlock's talked about it. So journalist Christopher R. Rufo, I hope that's right, announced he's launching a campaign called Drop Disney that will target the Walt Disney Company stock price. Rufo announced the campaign on Twitter, writing, Disney wants to impose critical race theory and gender ideology on American families. We're organizing a campaign to fight back. Hashtag Drop Disney. Well, it's about time. He went on to explain the campaign where, quote, we're launching a paid digital ad campaign targeting conservative Disney Plus subscribers with the goal of persuading them to cancel the service. I've never had it.
Yes.
It's a high leverage strategy. Even small slowdown in the rate of subscriber growth can have a major impact on the stock price, he detailed. He continued his thread, quote, the company is already in turmoil. The stock price has plummeted since the scandal. Rumors are flying that the CEO is in jeopardy, and executives across the country are scared to become the next Walt Disney Company. We're going to press the advantage, he declared. He concluded the thread writing, conservatives need to develop a strategy for containing woke corporations. We have to apply countervailing pressure and make executives understand that there's a price for pushing critical race theory and gender ideology onto employees and customers. On the actual website, it encourages individuals to sign a pledge indicating they will be dropping Disney, and there are even guides to instruct individuals to cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions. It also provides a more in-depth explanation on why you should be dropping Disney and canceling your subscriptions, explaining that Disney hate you for protecting your children's innocence. They hate you for not handing your kids over for indoctrination. They hate you for not traumatizing them with fake ideologies about race and gender. From there, the site shows Rufo's work on exposing Disney's Reimagine Tomorrow campaign as a front for indoctrinating not only Disney employees, but their targeted audiences with racist rhetoric. It also exposes Rufo's more recent work that exposed the company of having, quote, a not so secret gay agenda and actively using the company's benefit packages to pay for employees to physically maim themselves through, quote, transition operations. These, quote, benefits also extended to employees' children. Face the wall. Meaning Disney is paying to have young children mutilated in the name of gender ideology. So they have his tweet here. New. Disney has adopted benefits program to assist employees and their minor children with gender affirmation procedures. This type of treatment typically includes puberty blockers, breast removal, and genital surgeries for kids who are transitioned. Jesus freaking Christ. More recently, Rufo claims the company is also using their benefits package to murder children through the abomination of abortion. He wrote on Twitter, Disney, the world's largest children's entertainment company, has adopted a benefits program that will subsidize out-of-state abortions for employees and support sex change operations for their minor children. We live in a sick world.
Yeah.
Rufo believes this tactic is exposing Disney's not-so-secret gay agenda and their mutilation practices as part of their opposition to Florida's parental rights and education bill, which, if anybody wants to really to get some of that a good overview of that whole thing, go over to the YouTube channel Ricada Law. He has a video that goes over this bill, and he's a lawyer himself. He explains it very, thoroughly and in his own way. So I would say go over to his channel if you haven't, and find out some of the meat and potatoes of that whole thing, because he goes over it.
Does he explain it pretty
And
well?
he explains it. Yeah, he explains it very well, and he goes into the whole legalese of the wording and stuff like that, and just how the people that wrote up the bill, where they're kind of coming from, how they're writing it, and the terminology, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So go over to his channel and check the video out. It's really good. Rufo took to excuse me. Wait, let me go back up. Education bill that prevents teaching on gender ideology and sexual orientation to students in kindergarten through third grade is already having an effect. They should just be going for taking it out entirely.
Yeah.
No, not just K through 3, entirely. They aren't going far enough, in my opinion. Rufo took to Twitter, where he shared a screenshot of a CNBC headline that reads, "Major companies, including Disney and Walmart, keep largely silent as leaked Supreme Court abortion draft sparks outrage." He commented, writing, quote, "The game has changed. Executives saw what we did to Disney and have changed their risk calculations. The pushback against capital is starting to deliver results." He then posted a way to fight back against companies like Disney. Quote, "The way to fight back against woke corporations isn't to appeal to fuzzy abstractions. It's to change incentives and put a price on transgressing the values of the common citizen." Governor Ron DeSantis gave a master class on this strategy with Disney, and the Fortune 100 is listening, he said. See, I forget what it's called exactly, but basically the reason why all these corporations have adopted this is because they get government subsidies for it.
Right.
They're incentivized by the government,
right,
to do this, not just local, not just state, but from, the big White House up top.
Yeah.
So if you're going to stop it, that's where you have to stop it. But, DeSantis at least has been putting some boot to their necks a bit.
Yeah.
Rufo then asserted conservatives can easily change minds in the C-suit. We need to exert enough pressure to give executives permission to tell internal stakeholders we can't risk the reputational and political damage to do X woke policy. Quote, "They aren't ideologues. We need to give them a way out," he stated. Well, and a lot of the pressure that these companies get is mainly from Twitter, and people just gotta, it is. Twitter isn't real life. It's like people keep railing on their own other streams and stuff. Twitter isn't real life, and you just need to stop listening to these freaking weirdos on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's what it'll boil down to. And once you stop listening to them and stop giving them so much freaking power, you can stop this crap. You just need the right people to do it. I mean, I even saw today article that popped up. Let me see if I can find it, because even it was Tesla apparently giving employees to do what Disney was doing, was to give people the ability to go out of state for funded either these trans surgeries or abortions and stuff like that.
Tesla was?
Tesla.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. All right, but let me go. Let's finish this first. So he added, in the coming weeks, some companies will issue statements on Roe v. Wade, but they will be much more cautious than before, and many companies will avoid the issue altogether. Quote, "The fight isn't won, but we're making progress. Keep applying pressure," he encouraged. Rufo would also respond to a thread from Judd Legum, discussing his recent article on Popular Info that claims a giant PR firm is advising their corporate clients to remain mum on the debate regarding the right to life that was recently set ablaze in the media following the circulation of a draft majority opinion by Supreme Court Justice Alito that declares Roe v. Wade will be overturned. Ligam details on Twitter a massive PR firm that represents high-profile corporations like Coca-Cola, Netflix, and Starbucks is privately advising its clients to avoid commenting on abortion rights, according to an internal email. Now, with considering some of the sick shit Netflix has been putting on their freaking platform with cuties and everything, I'm amazed if they've been able to keep their mouth shut.
100%.
So continuing on, the PR firm identified as the Xeno Group, okay, is purportedly advising clients to, quote, not take a stance you cannot reverse, especially when the decision is not final. The topic is a textbook 50-50 issue. Subjects that divide the country can sometimes be no-win situations for companies because regardless of what they do, they will alienate at least 15 to 30% of their stakeholders. It warns, do not assume that all your employees, customers, or investors share your view. Wow, no shit, Sherlock. That should be what? Common freaking sense? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, if common sense was common, everybody would. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Rufo responded to Legum tweeting, the conservative war against woke corporations is starting to change risk calculations and shift corporate behavior, keeping the pressure on. Disney's stock price has been on a downward trend for all of 2022. It began a year at $156 and it's down to $110. As you can see below, the price plummeted in the middle of April as Disney promoted its barbaric policies. I like their word. Its barbaric policies, its not so secret gay agenda, and came out in favor of grooming small children. Boom! Look at that.
Mic drop.
Down 29%. Let it crash and burn.
So 20 is down 29%.
According to this, yes. At least when the screenshot was taken from the New York source, New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
So basically, what do you make of Rufo's plan to target Disney? Do you think it's already having an effect? Well, I mean, I can only hope that it starts to have an effect on them. I mean, I've heard just what I've only heard that, since taking their stances that they've had, it has had an effect on some degree of their park attendance.
Yeah.
But that also has come down to apparently a lot of the rides breaking down and stuff. And, even though that they were closed for a time during the major height of the coof and stuff. Yeah. But between that, I mean, people still go. That's just it. But I've heard from it. I'd say go over to the Geeks and Gamers side channel, Park Hoppin', Drunk 3PO. He does a lot of their content revolving around the theme parks.
Yeah.
And
What has he said about it?
He's been he's been covering a lot of what's been going on and just the goofy stuff that goes on too. But from some of them with their they've been getting the impression that a lot of people have been mostly going to Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Versus Disney, partly from probably this whole activist stances that they've been taking, while Universal has not.
And I'm assuming Universal owns themselves, like they're not affiliated with Disney, are they?
No, of course not. No.
Well, I've never been there, so I didn't know if something.
No, they're their own thing. They're their own thing, and they've been keeping quiet and mostly just watching.
Yeah.
And kind of going, hey, let's not do that, right?
Yeah.
But that's just assuming,
Some people just want
otherwise,
to watch the world burn.
Exactly. I'm just here with my popcorn watching it burn, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing too, is that they have some major things coming up. In particular, what'll probably explode in a good way for them is going to be their whole like Super Mario Land or Nintendo Land. They're supposed to be rolling out a Nintendo Land, and that's gonna, I mean, just the popularity of Nintendo alone,
Right.
people, and that'll just, I mean, I saw, I don't know if I'll be able to find it really quickly, but I know I saw like the people, they were showing off the map of this whole thing, and it was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That looks insane. So, I mean, that would possibly be something I'd almost want to check out myself, you know? Even though I wouldn't want to make a trip to Florida. I hate the heat, humidity and stuff like that. But it'd be cool. Hey, save up and go check it out. Yeah, so here's the other thing that I'm not going to go over this article. I just wanted to show it too really quick, because this is kind of like, you know, people want to suddenly put Elon Musk on this high horse pedestal,
right?
Because he bought Twitter and has some plans for it. But from DailyMail.com, Tesla is the latest firm to announce it will pay for staff's travel and living costs if they have to leave the state for an abortion, as companies react to Roe v. Wade leak. So, and you can go and check out the article too, because they kind of go over a lot of the same stuff that we just read off for that from Bounding into Comics. So, yeah, no, it's they are your friends. That's
my prediction. I don't know if you just said this or not. I may have missed it, but Universal is going to become the new hot spot to go travel to.
It seems to be.
I mean, they've got
because they also have the whole Harry Potter experience,
right?
Is very big,
right?
They've been doing nothing but good things with all of that. So, yeah, listen, I mean,
just like you said, I mean, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. So Nintendo, if I don't know what they're going to call it, Nintendo Land, whatever they're going to call it, that alone is one I would go just specifically for that.
Like I said, yeah, just the name alone is kind of like, yeah, that'll bring people regardless. So what was your whole thoughts on this whole article? I know you were the one that brought it up. So.
Yeah. So I find it very interesting that, you know, all this stuff is happening, and now like people are like, it's almost like waking up and fighting against it. Like, to your point, like DeSantis has, to use your word, putting the boot around their neck a little bit. Like, I think that it's going to come and bite them in the rear. It's going to come and bite Disney in the rear. I think they're trying to push all this stuff, and people
it's been coming in waves.
Yeah, you know, Disney has always been, Disneyland is supposed to be the most magical place on earth, right? Well, who in their right mind, hear what I said, in the right mind, would take their child to a place that is for this kind of stuff?
Right. And it's been also the thing of like, who in their right mind would send their kids to a public school, and this is the same stuff going on there too, and it's been going on for a long time.
What kind of decent parent would send their kid to a school where they're talking about all this crap, like from kindergarten to third grade?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up Catholic, and we didn't talk about this stuff until like 8th grade. Like,
I grew up in freaking California, and yeah, I mean,
that's an exaggeration.
The conversation,
grade, but
the conversation didn't come along until at least going on to middle school.
When I was in third grade,
5th or 6th grade or something like that.
When I was in third grade, I was more concerned about learning how to color inside the line, so I wasn't held back again. Like, I wasn't concerned about, you know, knocking the old work boots with Cindy, who sat 2 desks across.
Yeah, those feelings didn't come till much later. It's like, no.
So this, I think it is gonna come back and bite them.
Like, and you know, that's been like the one saving grace of some of this is like, you know, thanks to these kids doing their schooling at home, and parents are actually checking in on these Zoom calls that they're sitting in on. They're finally going, oh, this has been the curriculum going on.
Right.
No. I don't think I like this very much.
My brother and I were talking about, because he obviously he lives in California, and
That poor soul.
and grew up taking my nieces to Disney, right? I mean that's
Right.
one thing that they've done growing up, and now he
I heard you get like special passes too if you like live in LA or something like that.
Yeah,
close by, and you can get like
So, but they'll never take my nieces again to Disney, and well, yeah, and rightfully so, but it's because of just this kind of stuff. And so yeah, I think it's going to cost them dearly. I think they want to push that. They're pushing all this stuff. They're trying to, but it's just,
my hope with all this is that
if you think
I hope that the term actually becomes a reality of the whole go woke, go broke, because because of the fact of the matter, like I said earlier, they get government checks out of this
for sure.
They're pushing all this, but you can only hope that at some point where the government money doesn't become enough,
right?
Because they aren't making up in between both. They aren't getting enough money from that, and they aren't getting enough money from the people. So enough people actually finally stop walking away from this crap, and maybe we can start to see some level of change.
Right. They're two completely separate issues, but like if and I went back and I checked the numbers. So like Netflix can lose $42 billion in a night, because I thought it was million, but like I went back and checked it. If they can lose all that in a night, imagine how much Disney. Imagine how much Disney can lose if people start standing up and kind of fighting back.
Well, they have been too, especially on like their movies, because now also China isn't taking their movies.
Mm-mm.
They aren't getting that. They aren't getting them China bucks anymore.
China. I like that.
That's what it is. They're not getting the money from that end of the world. So it's just called, they're not having it. They're going to be putting their money to their own cinema at this point. Why would they take?
Right.
And they're just only going to, say you have to remove this, you have to remove that. That was like something that came out recently. Was Sony actually said, no, we're not going to remove the Statue of Liberty from the Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because China was like, you have to remove that if you want to put your movie here. And
Sony's like,
that movie's been making good money. So they're like, okay, no, we don't.
Sony said, go pound sand.
Basically.
So.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't give the money any movie, but I did check it out. It's a good movie. I liked it.
I said I didn't watch it.
It was the better of the 3 new Spider-Man movies.
I didn't go see it mainly because I'm DC, and I won't.
Like I said, I didn't give him my money, but I checked it out all the same, just because okay, I'm a Spider-Man fan. I have been for a long time. I'll check it out, and it was a good flick. I enjoyed it. It finally had real villains, but the thing was those were villains from older movies,
right?
So it's called
I wonder,
not your own thing, but
yeah. So I wonder with this whole stance, if like Disney is starting to see like, oh, we're not, in fact, like we're actually, what's the word, infallible or fallible, whatever, like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if
they can take damage.
Right. I wonder if that's what they're thinking. Like, if like, oh, like maybe they're, we are in trouble if we continue to push this. Maybe maybe they don't. Maybe they're just so clueless that they live in their all.
They're either clueless or they're high on their own horse, thinking that they can't. They're Disney. They can't be taken down. So
that's the whole perception reality.
Yeah, we'll see if their hubris will get the better of them.
I'm curious to check out. Yeah, check out Drunk 3C3. Oh my, the guy Drunk 3PO.
Yeah, check him out. He's great.
Yeah, and see what his thoughts are, because like to your point, like I have followed Geeks and Gamers and Park Hopping, but I'm curious to see what his thoughts are on the matter. But as it stands, yeah, Disney will never. Well, hard for me to say that I'm not going to give them
Well, like they
my
like,
money, but
and the great thing is like they've said too, it's like for their Power Copping channel, they're going into these theme parks giving an honest opinion. They a lot of these companies don't always like them because of that fact, because they're
right.
not kissing their ass because they
Blacklist. They're on the blacklist.
they're on the they're effectively on the blacklist. So
we
so
should go to yeah. I was gonna say we should go to Disney just solely to say, yeah, we're go to Disney, tell them who we are, this fractured filter, J Hitman 187, and see if they let us in or not. So we're gonna do a podcast, our episode of our podcast, and see if they send security, since they do have Disney police there.
Oh, but I wonder, since DeSantis took away so many of their special little privileges.
Yeah,
wondering if they're going to still have their own private security and stuff. That was part of their whole benefits and stuff, was having all that.
So
and, that's gone.
And I know that I remember years ago I was flying to Panama City, and we stayed at a resort at Disney World when we were flying out the next morning. But yeah, they have their police, their own. Yeah, it's like its own little city.
I'd only gone to Disneyland. I had gone to Disneyland. I never went to Disney World. I went to Disneyland twice. Once was kind of in the middle of my senior year.
Yeah.
Of high school, and no, it was not planned properly.
Yeah.
But had a fun time. The rides at least worked and stuff. I was like, okay, I can now say I've gone.
This was probably before. This was 2003, 2002, 2003, in that time period. Because then we went again. We then planned another trip after my graduation from high school, and we went to Disneyland and Universal Studios. Yeah,
I wish I still had the picture of me with the at Universal Studios with the Spider-Man. He's like, "Hey there, big fella, you're a big guy." I'm like, "Yeah." But I mean, it was funny because the second time we went to Disneyland, it wasn't the same experience. Like, we went on the Indiana Jones ride, and it ended up like stalling up at a certain point, and it's like, wow, this isn't the same experience as I remember last time. It's not the same. Oh well. But I then after those couple of times of going, it's like I never had any inclination to want to go back, want to go and check that place out again. Even with, I just kind of got embittered when they were like, "Oh, hey, we got a Star Wars section now." When they bought Star Wars, I'm like, "Oh," and it was before the movies had come out, I think, or maybe around it. I was still kind of like, eh. But I'm like, "Oh man, where was that when I went?"
Yeah, I went one time with my brother, my nieces, and it was solely to. We did the majority of the rides, but we went to Galaxy's Edge, and it was just dog walk. It was just terrible. Everything about it.
I haven't heard much positive things about it, at least from who I follow. So I'm sure some people have had fun. Whatever.
Food's terrible. Rides are terrible. Overpriced. They sell your titty milk there.
Oh God, the blue.
Yeah, they do. They do.
No.
Yeah, tastes not like milk. If you're curious. Yeah. So
gross.
Well, shall we get into this episode that I had to literally? It took me like 4 days to watch this.
I finally watched it yesterday morning. Yesterday morning. I finally was like, okay, I'm watching this. I'm doing it.
I tried to watch it before work. I tried to watch it after work. I tried to watch it the day before. It was hard.
No, I was amazed. It didn't drag, at least as bad as some of these episodes have. Especially
No,
like,
that's yeah.
especially like the episode when he was first transporting the frog lady. That
Oh,
was so tediously boring.
it was better than I will say. It was much better than that in the sense of like from a pacing perspective.
Yeah.
But it was still
Well,
hard to get
there's
through.
still like just so, and I make notes of this. There's like stupid little like, I don't know, things that I couldn't imagine being appropriate for who was in charge and stuff like that.
Right.
For in terms of like, you know, with the Imperials and everything, but we'll get into that.
Well, luckily there wasn't any overweight Imperial guards in this one.
No, they did not have any fat stormtroopers running around.
Yeah. They had a bunch of stormtroopers that couldn't aim.
Not like,
But,
yeah,
that
they couldn't aim for garbage, but they didn't have they didn't have an Imperial officer that looked like he was sitting at the donut shop the whole time.
But you missed.
I couldn't believe I missed that. I couldn't believe I missed that. Oh my god.
That was probably the best response and just section of the show. Just right how you just literally missed this guy that took up 3/4 of
I just glad that you were the first one that noticed it. That's the first thing you noticed was that guy.
Pillsbury Doughboy fitting in this spandex Imperial, uniform. Yeah. Well, you want to kick us off then?
Yeah, let's kick it off. Chapter 12, The Siege. So we're back into space with Mando because his ship was turned into a junker. Clearly the Mon Cal don't know how to repair ships.
Yeah.
So Mando and his Razor Crest is dead in space. Him and the Womperat are trying to get things fixed up so they can get moving. Mando is actually trusting the little genocide monster to plug in the color-coded wires where they're supposed to go. Mando keeps trying to warn the Womperat about not letting the wires touch each other, and naturally what ends up happening? The Womperat gives itself some good old electroshock therapy. Which I'm just like, okay, so this thing is supposed to be like, I don't know, 50-something years old, or I mean, certainly at least more. I don't know. It's supposed to be old.
I think he's like 60 years old.
I could have sworn it's something strange like that, but he's still acting like an infant.
Yeah.
It's like you were in the Jedi Temple. You had to have been trained, but you don't know color coding and you don't understand what he's explaining to you. What?
Yeah.
So yeah, I this time I noticed they certainly gave the little bastard a bunch of more sound effects. He was kind of almost vocalizing a little bit more, it seemed like, making them more coos and goos and gahs and stuff like that. I didn't notice it the first time around when I first originally watched this show. So they share some super cider or something, and Mando's thinking they aren't making it where they need to go. So time to revisit some old friends, going back to Navarro. Mando was being careful the whole time with his drink, so I guess he's only comfortable doing that on his own ship. Probably smart, because he only partly was lifting his helmet. So he's willing to do that on his own ship, but when he's been in bars and stuff like that, he refuses to order drinks. And he gave lip to that Mon Calamari in the last episode, where he's like, "No, I don't need anything." But right. in this episode, he's shown lifting his helmet enough so he can take a drink of something, but then immediately puts it back down. I guess he's just being uber cautious now that he's on his own ship. So then it cuts away from them, and it goes to showing us some of the fly-faced. Although I end up calling them something else. Fly-faced aliens, Aqualish, are either looting or hanging out in the armorers / Mandalorian's little hideout. The Aqualish get spooked while trying to have a meal. And then Cara Dune enters the fight and starts taking out the butt-faced aliens. Nothing like using one as a meat shield. We get the old surprise back hit maneuver, which is like her with just standing there, and then the alien came up right behind her immediately, and she kind of does that punch behind her over her shoulder thing. Cara Dune picked up her own furry little friend that is till she feeds it and walks out. That's our title hit.
Yeah. So a little bit different. So I just put recap scene as like buck of bolts floating aimlessly. Mando literally trying to get this baby to hotwire the ship, and there he goes. Did it die? Question mark. Over here sipping on its tea. Kermit does it better. Of course, I set off to Navarro. They go. Counting, and then I jump to counting credits and eating squirrel meat. Sounds like a good time until it's not. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I said Dune doing what she does best, taking out dudes. Decided against the dudes. She'll take the credits instead. Or the Womp Rat one is... I typed that wrong. I was like, decided against the dudes. She'll take the credits instead. Or the Womp Rat. I said Mayor Weathers and Marshall Dune await Mando's arrival. I think I may have jumped the gun there. That's what I had. Did you?
Yeah, you just got
okay.
So yeah, I had Mando comes landing in with his junker of a ship, and Dune and Carl Weathers are there to meet with Mando. And Weathers states the obvious about the ship. Oh, a marshal now, huh? Because they introduced Cara Dune as being the marshal of the town. And I say Carl Weathers' own womb seems to be going off as he immediately picks up the Womp Rat and starts goo-goo-gawing it. I swear they turned him into a chick suddenly. I said, ominous alien watching them leave. So wow, you kick out either the Empire or the disreputable bounty hunters, and the town gets suddenly lively and not so shit. Which is the thanks to Cara Dune, apparently, while Weathers is handling the clerical stuff. The old bar has been turned into a school now. Oh, lovely. But they drop off the little Womp Rat there. Womp Rat is finding a new food victim and is denied. But that won't stop the little Womp Rat as he steals the kids' snacks. And he isn't punished or anything like that. He freaking flat out steals the kids' little snacks and gets away with it. Little bastard. I'm surprised the kid didn't get up and punch it like the scout trooper. Come on, embrace the dark side. And then let's see. Sorry, that's the food victim part. Yeah. And then Fish Boy from season 1, episode 1 is back and doing what he was originally doing, apparently, till he ran off and had Mando sent after him. Mando says if he runs off again, just let him know and he'll catch his fat fishy ass again.
That's close to what I had. So I had go up here. I said Mayor Weathers and Marshall Dune await Mando's arrival. What a touchy moment between Uncle Weathers and Womp Rat. I said old Carl credits Dune for the cleanup of Navarro. Jump down to a school turned daycare. So the three talk business. This Womp Rat is always hungry. Kid says no. Womp Rat says, my macaroons, fool. So this macaroons. Yeah. So this is where. So in the show, Weathers, I think references the Fishman as a. I just put Pollywog inks himself after Mando after seeing Mando. Isn't that a Pokemon? Because he called him Pollywog, or I didn't
really catch it.
Yeah, he's been working for me since he was a Pollywog, and I just instantly thought, did you just reference a Pokemon? Where am I at here? And then inks himself. And then he's like blinded out of one eye. Doesn't hibernation sickness cause total blindness temporarily?
Well,
Like,
basically, yeah, what he means is like he had the carbonite sickness, but it also he didn't fully recover. It's still affecting one eye. So that's basically what that means. He just kind of he's got some extra after effects that either it won't go away or having to deal
I
with.
just remembered Han and his hibernation sickness. He
Yeah.
had total.
Yeah, he was totally blind until he was finally clearing up after a time. But for him, it never cleared up in that one eye.
Interesting. Okay, and then I think I don't know. Then I just put his royal magistrate, so this is what we call them, and her marshalness discussing taking out an old imperial base, wanting Navarro to be free, trying to persuade Mando to agree.
Yeah, I said now planning time. There's still some signs of imperial buildings hanging out on the planet. According to them, this is where they got all the troops to. I said trips on the thing, but I meant troops. All the troops to fight in the city when Moff Gideon attacked. Carl Weathers and Cara Dune believe getting rid of the base will free up Navarro and the planet from the icky Imperials, and they can be a real trade port now. And then basically, kind of them getting up to the base is Fishy Boy trying to get out of being part of all this, but Carl Weathers ain't having it, giving him next to no real options than to be involved. Then it's so the Imperials set up a base on a planet with known lava activity, but their own advanced tech they don't make sure is compensating for the planet. Trash? Really? Whatever. Because she makes the comment about the piece of junk Imperial door thing that they were trying to hack or get into.
Yeah.
And it was like locked up because of the lava. And I'm like, this is the freaking Imperials. You're telling me that this advanced military group didn't compensate for planets that they were going to be, terraforming, taking over, or whatever, putting bases onto, that they wouldn't, make sure that their stuff was adaptable or just, whatever it needed to be to keep working in these conditions.
Do you know why it wasn't adaptable?
Why?
Because they had that guy from the Kenobi trailer running that base. That's why. Look, do you think he looks prepared in the slightest?
Damn it! It's the new Porkins. Damn you, Porkins!
Right.
It's Imperial Porkins.
Porkins. I guess that reference.
So Fishy Boy trying to again squeal out of being there till Carl Weathers offers more off his sentence. Mando flies up and starts a firefight, and in comedic fashion, we get a stormtrooper falling from the sky and going squish.
Let's see what I had. Yeah. I said the Pokemon Poliwag chauffeuring them to the front door, trying to make excuses to leave. Old Weathers gives them two options. I've just put controls not rated for lava, ?
Yeah.
Poliwag trying to bounce. His Royal Magistrate knocks 30 years off his time. I don't know what I put there. Poliwag trying to help cut through the door. Mando jets to the top, then back down to open the door. Man, that was fast. Did they just steal a move from Jedi Outcast? I put the four Musketeers discussing how to destroy the base. Poliwag tries to snag a Marauder. Mando shuts him down. So that's what I had, and I'll let you go because I think I may have jumped the gun.
No, you're good. Don't worry. So after the whole comedic falling down thing, I said so much for an empty base, it seems, but now they just need to get into the reactor to blow the whole thing up. Fishy gets excited over some Imperial vehicle and wants it, but clearly they will most likely use it for their escape or something else. One lone Imperial captain or something gets the old struggle snuggle treatment from Cara Dune.
What did you just say? Struggle snuggle?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
They send Fishy out to mess with the reactor so they can destroy the whole facility while they have the easier jobs of watching the doors. Fishy does it, and now the scramble to escape. They're still trying to sneak their way out of the facility. Seems they fell to a lab, and we get some early clones of Sheev slash Snoke. So yes, again and again and again, we're heading to sequel territory.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. Oh, the doctor pops on the hollow recording and talks about rejection of the blood, probably from the Womp Rat, and mentions the M count, guessing metachlorine count. There was a reason the Kaminoans didn't go with cloning Jedi. You guys didn't have the records, which again, it's like, how did you not know this? This is detailed in the Plagueis book. Come on,
that they never read.
The doctor gives word to our heroes that Moff Gideon is in fact alive. Ooh, excuse me. And yet they're still after Womp Rat to continue their experiments. He's the key to everything. Now they split up so Mando can get more quickly back to Womp Rat, and we again have another comedy death fall from the stormtroopers after Mando escapes from the lava pit. Man, they just can't catch a break.
At all, in the slightest.
Nope. You want to...
Let's see. Yeah. What I have? I said, Dune, the dude getter, getting another dude. The worst Imperial accent ever.
They don't have the Imperial accents anymore. That's just it.
No. I don't understand that. Weathers acquires something of importance off the imp. Oh, the TK reference from A New Hope, reminiscent of a bygone era. Mando tells Polywog to slice the door, and by slice I mean use the. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Weathers. Weathers tells Polywog to slice the door, and by slice I mean use the code cylinder. Polywog leans too close to the lava, said by Mando. I put Weathers threatens to pull Polywog. Put Polywog back into carbonite if he doesn't grow a set and help shut down the coolant line. I just put Polywog taking a day and a half to shut down coolant line, and then I'll end on evac less than 10. She's gonna blow. I guess. Well, and then I guess because you went to you're talking about the. Well, I may have. Did I?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, no, I'll end there.
Yeah, so Fishy Boy is proving to be more trouble than he's worth, it seems. Armored vehicle comes into play now as they used it to escape from the Stormies on the deck. They have the two men screeching as they drop off the deck onto Fishy Boy's speeder. I'm like, really? They're gonna scream like a couple of girls? Now a chase commences and Carl Weathers gets on the guns to take out the scout troopers. Facility goes boom, but not before some TIE fighters hit the sky to be a nuisance. Weathers finally hits a TIE fighter, but at the same time manages to take out his gunner seat. Not even TIE fighters can hit the craft. Mando comes back in with his rebuilt / repaired Razor Crest and starts taking out the TIE fighters while Womp Rat enjoys the show and the food he stole from that kid. Mando tried spinning since that's a good trick and finishes off the TIE fighter and the Womp Rat hurls on himself. Mando decides he ain't sticking around and has to get immediately back onto his travels for the search of Grogu's own kind and bunks off before Gideon catches on. And then, oh, look, the New Republic X-Wings are here. Wonder who it could be.
Yeah. I'll just go through real quick. I said, real slick scientists working on deleting something nonchalantly, then decide to destroy it. Good play. Both get destroyed. LOL. What did I just see? Something out of Hellboy that referenced the Snoke plague, or
The
what you'd
clone,
reference.
yeah.
Yeah, the clone. Polywog accesses a hollow recording of scientists explaining what is in the
I meant to
tubes.
I meant to
Oh,
bring
go
it
ahead.
up. Did you notice the little theme playing when they were looking at the tubes though? The music cue.
Was it from Plagueis?
It was kind of like the almost kind of Sidious theme or something like that.
Yeah.
Emperor theme.
I said, the end count reference.
Yep.
Scientist explanation to Moff Gideon. Mando thinks Moff Gideon is dead, only to find out the recording is 3 days old. Daddy needs to get to his boy. That was quick. Polywag concerned about the time. And that is the longest escape ever. Mando escapes via jetpack. Beskar armored to the rescue. That's the Jedi outcast scene we waited for, where the stormtrooper just falls.
Oh yeah,
that was As the magistrate marshal Polywag in a shootout, Polywag hits about as well as Filoni stormtrooper. Dune the dude getter getting another dude. Marshall off to hotwire the Marauder, and they're off the ledge onto the speeder. And then I put I didn't know swoop bikes could move like that. I jumped down to it's a tank. You're shooting at a poorly designed tank.
Yeah.
I just put a little say hello to my little friend reference there. And it's just like these stupid TIE fighters about to do a flyby. Like I can't get over how just stupid these TIE fighters look like. I put, you got one. Mando saves the day after the remaining TIE fighters. He said Weather's watching from a safe distance whilst Womprat eating his macaroons. He's got 1 and 2 for the win. Womprat loses his macaroons. And then we'll just end it with Weather owes Mando a debt of gratitude, offers to buy him a drink. Mando says he has to clean up the Womprat. And then New Republic interrogation scene where Weather shows him the door. And then I love this part, the New Republic questioning scene part 2. Mr. Miyagi tries to recruit Dune the dude getter. Marshall declines offer, and then he brings up the fact that she's from Alderaan, leaves his medal, and then hits the road.
So yeah, I was like, man, this because I got his name. I was like, man, this Captain Carson Teva is the only X-wing pilot out there. Dude seems a bit overworked. Couldn't they send another pilot at all? But he's here questioning about the exploded Imperial base and about the Razor Crest that happened to be in the area. Cara Dune's furry little friend is back, getting food thrown at it. Pilot Miyagi starts talking to Dune about helping out with cleaning up the system. He then brings up Alderaan and served during that time and asks who she lost. Bro, the whole planet blew up. That's not you. That's not usually any one person.
Yeah.
I mean, unless suddenly Alderaan came back.
Yeah, I thought
somebody.
that was.
I don't know if Star Wars they suddenly introduced the Dragon Balls and wished the planet back. I don't know.
It's like you ever say something and then immediately regret saying it.
Right?
Like this guy, like did you lose it? Like
foot,
just
mouth,
the whole planet.
I'm sorry.
Just the whole planet. Nobody.
Just nothing.
Yeah. Just a planet.
But he heads off without any new information. Imperial Star Destroyer flyover.
Yeah.
That shifty alien sells out the information to the Imperials that the officer takes the news to Moff Gideon. Razor Crest has a tracking beacon now. They can get ready to take the asset from Mando. Oh my, a bunch of evil looking roboid sort of armor things. Wonder what those could be. And that is the end of our episode.
Yeah. I said Moff Gideon is informed the tracking beacon has been placed, and then I said, "Enter Death Troopers." I believe they're the Death Troopers,
They're
right?
basically, yeah, basically.
Yeah, Death Troopers, and then that's what we've got. The glorious episode. Of
Yeah,
non-gloriousness.
I mean, like I said, it was paced a little better
Yeah,
at times. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't.
how did you like the this humor that was placed between Weathers and the Mithril? What was it? Mithril?
Fish boy.
Fish boy.
Eye rolling is just kind of like, really. That's like I said. I made that comment about them screeching like women when they were falling down
It's like an old
in the
married
vehicle.
couple. Yeah.
Well, it was just like you have Carl Weathers. I mean, okay, I would have understood Fishy Boy if he's screeching like that when they're falling, but Carl Weathers, he's the bounty guy. I mean, shouldn't he be hardened at least a bit to be able to do that sort of thing?
You'd think.
I mean, Cara Dune was the only one. She looked like she was enjoying herself. She was having fun. It was like that. I mean, a little react. I mean, not that kind of reaction, but
Right.
just was. It just came off as ridiculous to me.
Yeah. It almost was like kind of I don't know, when Mando's leaving, it almost kind of reminded me of A New Hope, where Leia and Luke are, they're coming out of the door, and then the big gap in between, and on the other side. I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, I don't know if that was technically planned like that, but that's what I just immediately, that scene, I was like, was he trying to like take something from A New Hope? Because
which part?
Where Mando, like, they're coming in, so they're coming out the doors, and the stormtroopers are behind them, and then like there's a big gap to the other side. So I didn't know if that was like a rip on A New Hope, where Luke and Leia Luke shoots, he throws his grapple shot or whatever and swings Leia across the other side.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe that's just where my mind went.
No, at least not. It didn't pop into my mind. No.
That's what keeps me up late.
The only thing that kind of made me think of A New Hope was when they sent Fishy Boy out to mess with the reactor, and it just kind of reminded me of Kenobi messing with the tractor beams on the Death Star.
Yeah, and then the whole TK.
That sort of kind of. I mean, I just always know that's how the stormtroopers. That's their code names and everything. So, yes, I see what you mean, and I think that did kind of come to my brain, but it was just kind of like it is like a
just their designation.
Oh, there it is, but that's just their designation. So yeah, it just.
Yeah,
it was kind of in one ear out the other for that one.
Yeah,
and of course it's been kind of a joke of they have no railings on things, really.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? They got balls. What can you say?
Right. How'd you rate it? 5, Colin. You're gonna say 5.
Get out of my mind.
Were you gonna give it a 5?
4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, some of it was okay. I mean, at the same time, it's like I almost want to give it a 3 now, because like, they basically have that little womp rat bastard getting away with all this thievery and whatnot. And it's like, man, this isn't good development for that kid.
Yeah.
He's not getting any repercussions or punishments or anything like that for literally stealing food from another person.
Right.
He asked and he was denied, and then he just outright steals it and gets away with it.
Right.
Like, that's the kind of message you want to put out there. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'm so over this whole baby persona.
It's not going to be ending anytime soon.
No, I get it.
Because they know that's their bread and butter. That's why they brought the little bastard back so quickly.
Yeah.
Because they knew they didn't have a show unless they had the little spazoid.
Right. Yeah, I was going to do I got a 3.8. I don't know. It wasn't, the pacing was a lot better, so it wasn't as bad as like you referenced the frog lady episode, which was just absolutely terrible. Like I wanted to just jump into a compactor and press the button. So the pacing was better. You know, that's about it. Like the humor between Weathers and Poliwag Fishman was just kind of like, it was almost like just painful at times. It's like two like a old married couple trying to be funny with just I don't know. It was painful
I
to
kind
listen to.
of see what you mean with that. Yeah.
But it was just a filler episode that leads to everybody's, and when I say everybody, I mean Disney fans' favorite character, Ahsoka. We're getting Ahsoka in the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode is where we bring in Ahsoka. Yep. Well, we got her. We had their name dropped in the last episode, so they had to bring her in sooner than later.
Yeah. So 3.8 for pacing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, they have the little womp rat stealing food from kids, and no repercussions for that. And then it's just like, you know, all the goofy pratfalls from the stormtrooper deaths. It's one thing to cause that sort of funny stuff in video games. It's another when you got it for your show when you're supposed to be having certain things taken seriously.
Right.
You know,
I don't believe, I would be shocked if Filoni ever played Jedi Outcast and saw that specific scene. But if he did,
it's not even a specific scene when you cause that stuff. It's just whenever you happen to kill them in particular way.
Right. Well, that's just one. Like for me, it's just an iconic. You know, when you play Jedi, it's just an iconic.
Yeah, it's the staple of what you do in the game.
Yeah, like you know the first level, you shoot up there and the storm, you know, falls down. So if it was a rip on that, you know, but I doubt.
No, it's just the stupid humor that they do to get is to basically continue to, like, you know, dehumanize the stormtroopers, so you don't ever go, hey, you know, what if that guy had a family?
Right.
You know, what about that, huh? What about that, huh?
Or
so it's so I mean that's part of the tactics of the stormtroopers anyways, is kind of a dehumanization and making nothing but a bunch of guys that look the same, because it gives the enemy the impression, yeah, I've killed one, but the same one almost comes right back at me.
Right.
I get that. But you know, they do this sort of goofy stuff and they kill so many of them just because it's, like I say, it's to help dehumanize the enemy and not make you think, hey, what about that guy's backstory? What happened to him? What made him decide to stick with the Imperials after their downfall, huh?
Right.
You know, stuff like that. But, you know, that's the whole purpose of setting up those sort of goofy pratfalls and stuff like that is that.
Yeah.
So.
Can't wait for the next episode. I'm so not excited. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if I even remember anything from the next episode.
I didn't until I was looking at like the casting and stuff.
Did you?
Again. Yeah, and I saw how they have. That's what I'm kind of like. Oh, I can't wait to see what he's. Is Michael Biehn? He was Kyle Reese in the first Terminator movie, and Hicks in the in Aliens.
Yeah,
and also did a voice for a character in the Far Cry Blood Dragon game, which that game is awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to. I forgot what happens with him in that episode, so I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see that what he's doing in that again. And I don't care about Ahsoka, but we're gonna get her.
I don't either.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of fodder for.
Yes, I can't wait for. Did you hear that they're gonna do a Luke Ahsoka show?
I didn't hear anything of that sort. I've heard about the Ahsoka show that they're supposed to be doing.
No, this is the love.
But I heard
supposed to be.
Don't look! You're looking you're looking at fan fiction again, aren't you?
No, this is 100% a thing. It's a rom-com.
You're looking at the perverse side of Twitter of the fan fiction.
No, the
side
perverse side of Twitter was
the damn
Ahsoka calling
shippers
Anakin.
that do all this crap.
No, the perverse side was Anakin and Ahsoka. That was a perverse show that they were going to do. Apparently,
Yeah.
They got shut down. No, I wouldn't be surprised. You laugh.
No,
Guarantee it's coming.
I do laugh. I hope to Christ it's not real, but
Listen,
I'll probably be proven wrong.
Script Trooper. I called them. Retconning the original trilogy.
We've been talking about that for a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Now. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They might do a love story between Ahsoka and Luke.
Well, then it then becomes okay. So where the freak was she during the sequel trilogy? I mean that leaves a big plot hole right there.
Maybe she was with. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I'm not going to say it because you're going to see her. Stop.
No, what? What was she doing? Where was she? What? Come on.
She wasn't with Luke.
Well, clearly, she wasn't even in any of the 3 movies. She wasn't there at all.
So where do you think she was?
Hell if I know.
She was with somebody else.
Wow.
Maybe.
Who did she slink off to now?
That's the thing. She's almost as bad as Cara the Dune, doing the
struggle snuggler.
The struggle. I like that. Was funny. The struggle snuggler. That's good. Well, you got anything else you want to go over?
So I mean, yeah, that's kind of. I'm guessing we're just gonna wrap things up now.
Yeah.
But kind of speaking on the dehumanization of the stormtroopers, here's some humanization of them. It's a fan film project that has been in the works for a while now. It's called Bucketheads. I don't know if you've caught any of this.
Is it? Yeah.
And this is their YouTube channel. Transmute Pictures. You can find it by just searching for Bucketheads, a Star Wars story, or just Bucketheads. That should take you right to their channel. But they have their first episode out, the prologue. It's pretty good, well shot. Graphics look great. And yeah, like I said, it's from that Imperial Stormtrooper perspective. I hope it sticks out or sticks to that for the whole thing instead of they just finally drop their helmets and go, "Hey, we're with the rebels now," or the New Republic.
Are they getting away with this and not? Are they? Have they been tagged for copyright or anything?
I don't know. I don't know all the history. I finally just looked back into them after a while, so I don't know if there's been any drama like that, or if they've learned from Star Wars theory and are managing to do things, or unless Disney's lightened up. I don't know, or Lucasfilm, whomever. But yeah, that's just kind of, I just thought I would go off on that. And they have a trailer for their chapter 2 that I thought I would play going to end this episode on.
Yeah.
So let's see it. I'll get that going and we'll be heading out, and adios to everybody.
Adios.
Oops. Share screen. You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
You can find and capture a defector. Return him alive for questioning.
We served together. Scarif, Kashyyyk, Endor.
You're the captain now. These men need a leader.
Imperial business, step aside.
Yeah, he's wondering if you bucketheads have an appointment.
Step aside.
Remember your oath. Through fire and blood!
Weapons hot. Backup is 1,000 levels away.
Hey!